All right, so get this right. We are diving into a debate today. It's hotter than like a Florida summer. And no, it's not about air conditioning or anything like that.
Oh, really?
We're talking about Florida's state bird, of all things.
Okay.
But you know how you love to really get into a topic?
You do?
Like really understand it? And we're not messing around here. We're not just skimming the surface.
No.
We've got an actual like trop rock anthem.
Yeah.
Praising one feathered friend, right?
Okay.
And then a whole stack of like these talking points I found, and they lay out all the arguments. This is going to be good.
These symbolic debates are so interesting.
Yeah, right.
They really get to like how people connect their identity to something from nature. It's fascinating.
Exactly. So to kick things off,
Okay.
we've got, believe it or not, a song. And it's not just any song. Get this, the title is literally Florida's New State Bird.
Okay.
Florida's New State Bird by a group called Riptide Renegade. So basically, imagine like a love letter, right, to the flamingo, set to music. And that's what we're dealing with here.
That's pretty clever, actually. Like using music to get people, to appeal to emotions.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really effective way to get people on board with an idea, isn't it?
For sure, for sure. And I mean, you'll hear it. It totally works. But before we hit play,
okay,
let me just say this song doesn't just sing the flamingo's praises.
Yeah.
It paints a whole picture of like Florida vibes.
Really?
Like we're talking Key West sunsets, that whole like Jimmy Buffett kind of laid back energy, a little bit of Miami flair. It's catchy.
I'm ready. Let's hear it.
Okay, cue up the chorus.
Down in Key West where the sunsets glow, you'll find pink feathers in the breeze that blow. From the Florida Keys to Miami Vice, flamingos strut and life feels so nice. Oh, flamingos, you should be our state bird. Big booms flying high, let your voice be heard. From the sands of Key West to Miami's bright lights, flamingos, you're the spirit of those tropical nights.
Key West sunsets, Miami Vice, Jimmy Buffett.
All right, gotta admit that song's catchy.
So we've got the soundtrack for our deep dive.
Yeah.
But this debate goes way beyond like a catchy tune, right?
Right.
Let's get into like the nitty gritty. Let's look at these talking points.
Okay.
So these talking points, they lay out like a serious argument for Team Flamingo.
Okay.
And they are not holding back at all.
All right.
One thing that jumps out right away is this whole thing about the flamingo being like uniquely Floridian. What do you make of that argument?
I mean, it's a strong point, for sure.
Yeah.
The mockingbird, as charming as it is, you can find it a lot of places. We're talking all the way up to Canada.
Really? I didn't realize they were up that far.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
But flamingos in the U.S., Florida, that's it.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
That makes them special, right?
You don't see a flamingo on a postcard from, like, Maine. They just scream Florida.
They do. It's true.
They really do.
And speaking of postcards, let's talk economics for a second.
Okay.
Flamingos, they're already a pretty big tourism draw for Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them everywhere, right? Those pink plastic flamingos you see in all the souvenir shops.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Florida lotto tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere.
Okay, but those are mostly, quiche, like you said, souvenirs, right?
Yeah.
Like, how big of an economic impact are we really talking here?
It's big. Yeah. It's really significant. Studies have shown that wildlife tourism, and that includes bird watching, that brings in billions of dollars every year to Florida's economy. Imagine if flamingo populations were like fully restored back to their historical levels.
Yeah.
We could be talking about a massive, massive boom in ecotourism.
Wow.
People would be flocking here like from all over the world just to catch a glimpse of these incredible birds in their natural habitat.
That's amazing.
It'd be huge.
So not only are they unique to Florida, but their potential impact on the state's economy is like massive.
It's massive.
Right.
And it goes beyond just, dollars and cents.
Okay.
We got to talk about the ecological argument too.
Okay.
The talking points mentioned like flamingos being an indicator species.
Right.
But what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Basically, A healthy flamingo population means a healthy Everglades.
Right. Okay. For those of us who, like, don't have a degree in environmental science,
Sure.
remind us, what is it that makes the Everglades so special?
The Everglades is like one of the most unique and biodiverse ecosystems in the entire world. I mean, this
Wow.
place is incredible.
Okay.
It's this vast network of wetlands and sawgrass prairies,
Okay.
mangrove forests. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Home to, all sorts of incredible animals, too. We're talking alligators, panthers, manatees,
Wow.
all kinds of amazing creatures.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, and the health of this entire ecosystem, it's all delicately balanced.
Right.
Everything has to work together. It's
Yeah.
really amazing.
So where do flamingos fit into all of this?
Okay, so flamingos, they're what's called filter feeders.
Okay.
They're literally filtering the water through their beaks.
Oh, yeah.
They eat these like tiny little crustaceans and algae.
Ah.
And the amount of those little creatures, which the flamingos need to survive, that's directly tied to how healthy the water is and just the overall balance of the Everglades.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Okay.
If the flamingo population is doing well,
Yeah.
that's a really good sign that the whole ecosystem is healthy.
Okay. I'm starting to see why people are so passionate about this.
Right?
It's not just about, like, a bird.
Yeah.
It's about, like, the health of the whole state in a way.
It is. It really is. Exactly.
Wow. We've talked about how the flamingo, like, represents Florida's, one-of-a-kind environment,
Right.
its economic potential.
Right.
What about the mockingbird? Does it hold the same weight when it comes to those things?
Well, the talking points argue that it doesn't really hold the same economic weight as the flamingo, and
Right.
it's not as big of a draw for tourism.
Okay.
And, while it's part of the ecosystem,
Right.
it's not considered like a keystone species in the same way that the flamingo is.
So it sounds like the mockingbird might be, like, losing its perch in this debate based on its, like, current relevance.
It might be.
Okay, so, but wait. Didn't those talking points mention something about a hurricane, though? That seems kind of random.
No, it's not random at all. It's actually like a really interesting development.
Okay.
Hurricane Idalia, the one that just hit Florida.
Yeah.
It seems like it might have brought a bunch more flamingos with it.
Whoa, hold on. You're kidding, right? A hurricane helped the flamingos.
It seems that way.
How does that even happen?
Hurricanes, as destructive as they can be,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
they also displace animals. And
Yeah.
sometimes that creates these like new ecological opportunities, And in this case, it seems like Idalia might have pushed a big flock of flamingos up from the Caribbean
No.
into Florida. It's
Yeah.
too early to say for sure.
Right.
But this could be like a major turning point for the flamingo population here.
Wow. Talk about a plot twist. So just as this whole debate is heating up, a hurricane throws, like, a whole new flock of flamingos into the mix. That's wild.
Mother Nature works in mysterious ways.
That's for sure. That is for sure. So this has been quite the deep dive, I have to say.
It has.
Catchy songs, economic arguments, ecological concerns, a little bit of
A
history,
little bit of
a
drama.
little bit of drama, even a hurricane thrown in for good measure.
Right.
Where does this all leave us then?
Yeah.
What does this whole debate ultimately say about Florida, do you think?
I think it tells us that Florida is a state that's constantly changing, always evolving.
Okay.
And I think this whole debate over the state bird is really a reflection of how Floridians see themselves and what they value, right?
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Like, do they identify more with that historical resilience of the mockingbird or like the vibrant, unique, appeal of the flamingo?
I love that it's not just about, like, which bird looks better on a flag.
Exactly.
It's like the stories we tell ourselves about who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So what will the future hold for Florida's, like, feathered friends?
Who knows?
Will there be a changing of the guard on the state flag? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess so.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
But here's something to ponder, okay? I want everyone listening to think about this.
Okay.
If you were designing, like, a flag for Florida today, which bird would you choose and why? What does that choice say about, like, your vision of the state?
Oh, that's a good one.
I know, right?
I like that.
A little something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been so interesting.
Oh, of course. It's been my pleasure.
It really has been, like, an eye-opener.
It's a fascinating topic.
And to everyone listening, keep those deep dive suggestions coming. You never know what we'll uncover next.